Okay, divisions. Now, as the name suggests, divisions are subdivided areas of your web page. They're often called divs for short, and so that's what we'll call them. And you can create divisions with simple HTML code where it's just the less than sign, div, greater than sign, and then the closing has the / in there. And everything you place inside the two divs is contained in that division. So let's just add in as well a paragraph. And I'm going to just generate some code for this so I can show you. Okay, we've now got a headline, H1, and we've got a paragraph, and they're enclosed within this division or div. Now, if I want to apply some sort of formatting to everything inside this division, I can do it using a class or an ID. Let's do it with an ID. Remember, we can only use an ID once on a page, so I'm going to call this one container 1 because we might have some other containers, and this one is the first container, this first division here. So all we need to do then is we need to define our CSS to control the look of that particular div. Remember, in the CSS, when we do an ID, we start it with a hashtag and then container 1, and then open the decoration block, and we now can style this div. Let's put background color, and we'll put yellow, and you see everything inside that division, the H1 header and the text, is now all with a background yellow. So this gives us opportunities to break up content. Let's just copy this, and I'm going to paste it further down, but this time I'm going to put container 2, and once we've done that, we can copy, paste the CSS. I'm going to call this container 2, and you see that currently now is yellow, but let's change that to, let's see, aquamarine. If I had to change the first one, I was intending to change the second, but I've changed the first one. It doesn't matter. Container 1 now has a background color of aquamarine, background color of yellow for container 2, and it's everything inside the div. So between the two div tags, everything inside there is that div, and we've used the ID just to style it. Now let's put a border around the two divs so you can actually see the outside line of the area. Okay, we've put that one around the first one, and we can do the same with the second one. I'm having a little bit of a problem with the autocomplete while I'm recording the video, so let me just do it in manually. Unless it will allow me to select it. Okay, we've got it. So now we've got the two divs surrounded by a border, and as we've seen in the box model, we can play around with that, and we can actually put padding, spacing, or margins. Now, this is a good opportunity to show you the margin. Remember, we've got the content box in the middle, then we've got padding, which is between the content box and the border, and then we've got the margin on the outside. So this one, theoretically then, if that's correct, if I put a margin on the bottom one and I say 10 pixels, you can see what's just happened. We've now got white space, which represents 10 pixels between this div and the one above. And we could repeat that. Because we've now got this one also with a right and a left margin, this one now isn't aligned with the sides, but we can just replicate that quite easily with a similar margin. And put 10 pixels. Okay, now we've got the 10 pixels margins. The one thing we might like to do is we might like to move the text away from the border. And you'll remember from the box model that all we need to do is add some padding. Now, what I would like to do is I'd like to add padding to the left and padding to the right, but no padding top and bottom, because that padding seems okay. We're far enough away from the edges of the box, but let's have a look. This is the top one, so let's put padding. Now, I could define the padding all the way around, let's say of 10 pixels, and that works. In fact, I'm going to put that to 20 pixels. So now we've got padding all the way around, but I've got too much space at the top and the bottom, so I don't actually want padding at the top or padding at the bottom, but I do want it left and right. Now, do you remember that we could use two values for the padding? The first value would be top and bottom, second value would be left and right. So if we put in 0 pixels followed by 20, then the top and bottom, remember we start at the top and work clockwise. The first value is the top, therefore it's also the bottom. The second value is the right side and the left side. So now we've got the padding of 20 pixels left and right. Let's increase that to 30 and see what happens. Okay, that moves it even more in, which looks fine. And we can go down and do the same for the second container. Padding 0 pixels top and bottom, 30 pixels left and right. And now you can see we've got the box, got the padding, got the margins, and you can see it all working together. And the nice thing is you've got the two sections separated within separate divs controlled by IDs, so you can format them separately and format everything together, in this case the heading and the paragraph.